There's been quite a bit of excitement over the last week about the news that the country might be moving to lockdown level 1 soon. And reading the reports on this, I have to say I am struggling to understand why all the excitement. IOL reported on 9 September, quoting Health Minister Mkhize, saying that even when the country does move to lockdown level 1, precautionary measures such as wearing masks in public spaces, social distancing, hand washing, and sanitizers would continue, and people should get used to it as the new normal. He said that with the country currently on level 2, South Africa was now over the surge, as the months of June, July, and August were the worst for the country, as it had been predicted by various models. Yeah, they're still relying on models, believe it or not, because they've been so extremely successful and accurate. We want to thank all South Africans for taking heed of our precautionary measures. We think they would have made a contribution, as the use of masks, hand sanitizers, washing of hands, and social distancing has assisted quite a lot in containing the infection, Mkhize said, without presenting any evidence for that statement. Again, why would they need evidence for anything? On 14 September, Business Tech reported on an interview on 702 with Professor Salim Abdul Karim, chairperson of the Ministerial Advisory Committee on COVID-19, where he talked about maintaining certain restrictions for opening certain places like restaurants, and said that we are now in the post-COVID new normal. People shouldn't think we are going back to the old normal, and we will have to find a way to adapt to the new normal. In other words, still stick to the pointless regulations and get used to our new normal. Or should I say the World Health Organization Sustainable Development new normal way of life. So why are we so excited about moving to lockdown level 1? As we've seen in the past, it doesn't necessarily mean that things are going to get better, does it? This is like when we moved down from level 4 to level 3, was it? When we moved down a level, but we regained a curfew. So we will still have to wear masks in order to be able to feed ourselves. We'll still have to social distance, still spray yourself with hand sanitizers when you go into a shop, still jump through all the ridiculous hoops. Possibly even still have a curfew in place, just maybe with changed times. We'll see if the curfew totally goes or not. I'll be surprised if it totally goes. We shouldn't even be talking about lockdown level 1. We should be talking about level 0. All the data shows we should be talking about level 0. And that's what people should stay focused on. You'll notice there is no level 0 on the government's new alert system scale. But we better make sure there is a level 0 and that we get to that level 0 as soon as possible. Musical lockdown levels until vaccine. That is what they're doing with us. And people should be aware of that acutely. Please, those who haven't yet, head over to the Facebook page, South Africans donating their COVID vaccines in global solidarity. It is a poll, if you want, for lack of a better word, to shatter the fake perception that the government and media, not only ours, globally, are trying to create, that everyone is just sitting and waiting for a COVID vaccine, and that there is going to be such a demand that people are literally going to trample each other. That is absolute hogwash. It's not true, and that is what this page is all about. So please head over to the page, South Africans donating their COVID vaccines in global solidarity. Watch the pinned video so that you can understand what it's about, and let's shatter that perception. Also, in related news, another extension of the national state of disaster. Exactly as I predicted in the May news episode of This Month in Agenda 21, they are playing musical lockdown levels with us until there is a vaccine that they can bribe us with to get our almost normal life back. And then it is immunity pass time. And then you have to carry an access pass. And remember, billions and billions have already been spent on developing these vaccines. There are numerous vaccines now in development. I believe it's over 100. The money's been spent, and some of these have already been committed in contracts, and they have to go somewhere. Do not for 1 minute think, because you can see that the data is starting to show what a hoax and scam this was. Don't think that they are going to back off. Billions have been spent on this, and they are going to want them to go somewhere. And they will keep making nonsensical little changes and tweaks, and maybe move us back up a level and maybe move us back down a level and tweak little things here and there. And every few weeks, they'll give us something new to rabble about for a week or two. And all the time is ticking by, moving us closer and closer to the 18-month or even 2-year lockdown numbers that we've heard earlier in the year already, months ago already in the media. We're heading closer and closer to that, and all they're doing is playing for time. There's no reason, no rationale for any of this anymore. If we want to regain any control over our country and have any hope left of ever recovering, we should insist on level 0 right now. Another very important piece of Agenda 21 being slipped in under the radar, with COVID still taking the spotlight, was the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, announcing a new governance model for South Africa called the District Development Model. This takes the country further away from our established institutions of elected officials and government, local governments, to a regional management model or a district development model where we have virtually no say. Don't know how many people know that our country, with its 9 provinces, have 52 districts, and that is the level at which this development model will be focused. Can you remember the last time you voted or elected anyone to a district position? Neither can I. In fact, before the DA became merely the blue version of the Agenda 21 vehicle the ANC is, they proposed completely scrapping this level of government in their alternative budget for 2005 and 2006. I had to go to the Wayback Machine to find this, and I'll put a link in the comments. But it said, part of the problem is that local government is too far removed from the people, and for this reason we propose that district municipalities, which effectively constitute a 4th tier of government, be scrapped. And now this seemingly totally redundant level of government that removes people further from government is going to be made the most important level of government below the national government, because moving from local to regional governance is part of the Agenda 21, Agenda 2030 plan. Another part of the problem, the DA said, was that local governments do not have the capacity to usefully spend the funds they are allocated. And as we'll see in a moment, this little problem is about to be made much worse under this new governance model. Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, says that government is working on the rollout of its new district development model. Dlamini Zuma said that over the past 20 years, local government has not adequately fulfilled its role, especially as it relates to economic development. Yes, well, nice observation. That is because for the last nearly 30 years, our local governments, as well as national governments, have been totally overrun by Agenda 21 policies. That is why it is not developing, and in true globalist, mindless politician style, her remedy is to impose more Agenda 21 on us. To facilitate for better coordination and integration, government has adopted the new district development model. The district development model seeks to strengthen our local sphere of governance, moving us away from silo planning, budgeting, and implementation, she said. Dlamini Zuma said that the new model will provide for a more tangible, common vision for development for the country. By adopting a long-term view and interconnecting the local economies, we are able to reimagine a better community, district, and nation. Well, there are 2 very prominent Agenda 21 keywords, as that is what all these promoters of Agenda 21 will use all the time, because it comes straight from their Agenda 2030 documents. And that is a common vision of development. Whenever they talk about common vision, you can know that's what they're talking about, even though your vision is not included. It's a common vision. And the other one is able to reimagine a better community or country or city. Whenever they talk about reimagining or visioning a common vision, then you know you're looking at Agenda 21 for sure. She said that government further plans to locate each district's competitive advantage and utilize it for shared growth and prosperity. Yes, be very afraid. Government has looked at every district and they have decided now what they deem fit to happen in that district, and that is what they are going to make happen in that district. And screw you if you think you're going to do anything else. They are now going to micromanage the economy to a level that most people who constantly rage about planned economies have never thought possible. The minister continues to talk about district hubs. To assist at a local government level, Dlamini Zuma said that government plans to employ skilled people at district hubs so that they may avail shared skills which local municipalities lack. The hubs form part of the district's capacity and will link the localities to provinces and national departments, she said. So what skills are they going to predominantly be housing in these district hubs? Scarce skills such as engineers, planners, ICT specialists, and administrators to the districts and local municipalities. Let's just go over the first three. Engineers, city planners, and information and communication technology specialists. All three of those are supposed to be the ones that facilitate the building of the green economy infrastructure, as they call it in their coded language, which really just means the Agenda 21 sustainable development infrastructure that is going to monitor, ration, and control everything you do. Those are the skills that are going to be housed in the district hubs. It's unclear whether you'll have a choice to live in these hubs or not, if you are one of those professions. Who knows, maybe we're looking at a new form of national service even. You may be in for quite some surprise. eThekwini displays the apartheid spatial planning patterns, with the majority living far from work, thus spending close to 20% of their income on transport, whereas the international norm is less than 10%. Yes, well, Minister, there are two reasons for that. Firstly, because you've been obsessed with Agenda 21 and sustainable development planning for nearly 30 years as a government. There has been no development that has been taken out to the communities where these people live that you allegedly want to help so badly. No. All planning, all policy, all development have been focused on pulling people into the cities. That is why they have to travel so far. Your model, your treasonous UN Agenda 21 model, doesn't allow for development to go out into the areas where there is no development yet, where the people that you so desperately allegedly want to help live. That is not what the plan includes. That's not what the plan says. So that's what you haven't done. The second reason is also because of the green garbage that you've been shoving down our throats for the last 30 years. Our energy costs, both petrol and electricity and anything to do with transport, is artificially inflated massively. That is the reason why people spend 20% on travel instead of the international norm of 10%. Minister Dlamini Zuma. Dlamini Zuma said the government will therefore use the district development model to reimagine the future. There's that phrase again, reimagining the future. Total Agenda 21. Of all 44 districts and the 8 metros across the country, starting with profiling the localities. We have now completed the profiles of all the 52 districts. This means we are now at the point where we have a good understanding of the major development issues in all our districts. This was a critical step in the process of the implementation of the district development model, because we now know what we need to do to improve the quality of lives of our people. I can tell you what you have to do to improve the quality of lives of your people. Get out of the United Nations and throw Agenda 21 and local Agenda 21 in the dustbin. And let's talk about the money. Dlamini Zuma said that the district model will also see budget changes across government with the ultimate goal of unifying finances into a singular budget. The district development model will be implemented through the specialization and reprioritization of each and every department, state entity, and municipalities' plans and budgets, she said. The one plan, which will inform the one budget, is an intergovernmental strategic framework for investment and delivery in relation to the district and metropolitan spaces, she said. Yeah, so if you ever thought that any of your money is going to be spent on anything other than sustainable development, good luck. The district development model is all about how we work together as one government in all our district and metropolitan spaces, even if each sphere, sector, or entity has its distinct, interrelated, and interdependent constitutional powers, functions, and responsibilities. In this case, working together means planning, budgeting, and implementing as one, while we hold each other accountable along the process. The only ones who are going to be held accountable are you when you used more water or more electricity than your ration allows, and then you'll have to explain. None of these traitor politicians who sold us out to the United Nations will ever be held accountable. Not under this model. The DA has since responded to this announcement by Dlamini Zuma, and I have to say, it sometimes really seems to me as though the DA has no idea what they are supporting in supporting UN Agenda 2030. I'm available as a consultant. The DA Shadow Minister for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs put out a statement headlined, NDZ confirms that district model will be implemented whether it works or not. Yesterday, the Democratic Alliance was told that the government is not willing to release information on the successes and failures of the district development model. The model was meant to be piloted in 3 municipalities since last year, including the Waterberg and OR Tambo district municipalities. But with the result of the pilot project still outstanding, the Department of Cooperative Governance has decided that the district model will be rolled out across the country. The department's 2020 strategic plan includes the adoption of so-called one plans in all of the country's 44 districts and 8 metros. 6 district hubs are also being established. Yesterday, the DA received Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma's reply to a parliamentary question about the lessons that government had learned during the pilot phase of the district model. The minister's reply is that it would be premature to identify successes and failures in the district pilot sites. The DA thinks it would be far more premature to implement yet another grand ministerial scheme to fix local government without any evidence that it will work. In August, the DA cornered the minister at a department portfolio committee, and she said she would give the portfolio committee the information supporting the decision to adopt the district model beyond its pilot phase. Now it seems that this information doesn't exist, and that the district model was going to be implemented regardless of the information that came from the pilot sites. Yes, DA. Welcome to the Agenda 2030 Sustainable Development, where everything gets done undemocratically and regardless of whether it is justified or not. And congratulations on showing at least a tad of consistency in still opposing this move to this level of government, although you clearly don't understand what it's about since you still feverishly support UN Agenda 2030 out of the other side of your mouth. I think it is now evident to most people that these traitors to our country mean business. And they will not stop. We have to demand level 0 if we want to have any chance of recovering and any chance of remaining free people. Thanks for watching, and demand level 0. Please remember to click subscribe and the bell for notifications, and you can find us in the following places.